The Rays pitching has been one of the most astonishing stories in baseball. Monday, Tyler Glasnow saw Texas for the first time and stifled the Rangers hitters. Tuesday, Blake Snell lived up to his potential Cy Young height, troubling the Rangers further. But today, the Rangers offense gets right back to it, in a place where they find comfort. Rangers baseball is presented by the new Shiner Day Quencher Session Ale. Lots of sunshine, plenty of heat on this Wednesday afternoon. Some day baseball at Globe Life Park. The Tampa Bay Rays and the Texas Rangers as we wrap up this three-game series. Welcome in again, everybody. Great to be with you this afternoon. I'm Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nitkowski. It seems like we were just here. Rangers hoping to get something going offensively this afternoon to wrap up this series. And they're going to do it against a Rays pitching staff that has tweaked the way we think about starting pitching. They've introduced the notion of the opener. And today, once again, they will trot that convention out.
Yeah, they really have started this conversation, and it's continuing around Major League Baseball. And the reason is because the Tampa Bay Rays have had some success using the opener. We'll take a look at how they've gone about this. And going back to May 19th, Sergio Romo was the first opener that they used. He made his first career start at the age of 35, and now since September 1st, this is something that has worked. They've set a record for the most relief innings, 658 and 2/3. You see it there. But their ERA at 3.26, that is the second best in Major League Baseball. So perhaps the Rays are onto something. And we have seen, of course, Rangers use this as well. But today we're going to see Diego Castillo. This is the 9th time now that he is being used as an opener. Just 12 and a third innings so far, but he's done a really nice job. The ERA is good. He's also done a good job as a relief pitcher this year. Now, it's interesting that this will be his 9th start in the big leagues. He's only made one in the minor leagues in 144 games.
Yeah, these are starts in, I guess, statistical terms only. Rangers, they've tried this as well. In fact, they even did it with Yohander Mendez. But today, the idea is that Yohander would go a little bit deeper than one.
Certainly, that's what the Rangers are hoping for. And Yohander Mendez has been much better since his recall. We know the story, got called up, but sent back down pretty quickly. And since then, he has really been a man on a mission. He's been a completely different guy. A couple of starts, the one relief appearance was an extended relief appearance. He was used as that primary pitcher, but their numbers have been very good. And it's important for Mendez to keep that going, to have another strong outing, finish the season really strong as he's looking toward, of course, next year and leaving the Rangers with a really good impression.
Well, another guy looking toward next year as well and has had a fantastic season here in 2018. Jurickson Profar once again in the lineup, and Emily Jones has him in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. By the new Shiner Day Quencher Session Ale. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by the new Shiner Day Quencher Session Ale.
The finale of a three-game set between the Rangers and the Rays on tap here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. A cloud-free sunny day here at the ballpark. And once again in the lineup, Jurickson Profar, who has had quite the developmental season for this Rangers team. We put him in our Shiner spotlight. When you look at the season Jurickson had playing on a regular basis, a 275 average at home this season, 11 bombs, 48 RBIs, and an 890 OPS. And in talking to Jurickson about what has been so good for him this season, it really is just the consistent playing time, the ability to know that he can play at this level, and the confidence that he has gained through producing off the field, getting comfortable in the clubhouse, reacquainting himself with himself, getting back to the basics of the game, and just having fun. It's something that he had to remind himself midway through this season, and something that's paid off here as we enter the home stretch, guys.
Batting 6th today for the Rangers, playing third base. So Jurickson Profar once again a big part of things here in 2018, and it has been just such a terrific season for him. Very encouraging looking ahead to next year, a little bit like the way Yohander Mendez has been pitching of late. Also quite encouraging as we begin to glance forward to the next season inside the final 2 weeks of 2018. Well, that's the final game against the Tampa Bay Rays. We take a look at their starting lineup. 84 wins, 66 losses. And they will lead it off with Malik Smith, who also has the start in center field. Tommy Pham in left, Matt Duffy at third. And then at the cleanup spot is the DH, C.J. Cron. Joey Wendle plays second base. Carlos Gomez in right field. Then it's Bowers, Adames, and the catcher, Jesus Sucre, rounding it out for the Rays.
We mentioned the left-hander Mendez going this afternoon for the Rangers, and we'll take a look at the Shiner Day Quencher Ale. What is it?
Day Quencher
session. I missed that part. Darn it. Anyway, 4-seam fastball 44% of the time. You're going to get the changeup. You're going to get the 2-seam fastball, the slider, and the curveball as well so far for Mendez. And you talked about it. Just really important for him to continue to throw the ball well. The changeup has been a great pitch for him. Just a 118 batting average against, but so has the 4-seam fastball. I think that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. It's been averaging 92 miles per hour so far, and just a 143 batting average again. So it's not an overpowering fastball in the sense that it lights up the radar gun, but it's been a very successful pitch for Mendez. And you think about so many good fastball hitters in the game today, it is certainly good to see that he has been doing a nice job with that fastball. We'll take a look at the defense behind Mendez this afternoon for the Rangers. It is brought to you by Chicken Express. It's Chu Tochi and Nomar Mazara in the outfield, and in the infield for Jeff Bannister's club, Jurickson Profar, Elvis Andrews, Rougned Odor, Ronald Guzman, and Carlos Perez.
All right, so just about set. Carlos Perez doing the catching this afternoon with Yohander Mendez on the mound. And Malik Smith leading it off and playing center field today. He takes ball one. And we are underway on a warm afternoon. 89 degrees with the first pitch. A little bit low, 2 balls and no strikes. Smith, great speed, and has done a fantastic job getting on base. I mean, he's hitting over 300, but his on-base percentage, 372 coming in. And once he gets on, he is a threat to run. 33 stolen bases this year, second most in the league. So an important batter every time he comes up, and certainly to start this game for Yohander Mendez. Mendez 2-1, a 3.86 ERA. And this is 4th start of the year. And this ball hit sharply foul. Even sings it 2-2.
A nice play by the ball girl down the right field line to kick things off. She's ready to go today. Nice backhand play. Not an easy one. We talk about that all the time. Off those walls, the weird angles. Take a look at this. Look at her playing it perfect. Watch the focus and the extension. Very nice play.
2-2. I would think that, you know, various individuals who may feel pressure, some nerves on a day like today, that anyone in that position would be nervous, because that play, you never know when it's going to come.
Yeah.
And you really, really want to make it. Yeah, thumbs up.
We only hire the best here with the Rangers at Globe Life Park, and so no jitters.
Popped up left side of the infield. Profar wants it. Oh, there's one away.
You know, the other part of Mendez and the success that he has had, I mentioned the fastball and the good numbers against that pitch. He doesn't record a lot of strikeouts, just a 5.3 strikeout per 9 rate. So he does rely on the defense, and inducing weak contact is really important. But the Rangers have played some pretty good defense behind him so far this year, and that's something that he'll need to continue. He is the kind of pitcher that does require that defense to be on point.
Oh, this one right through the left side of the infield, a base hit for Tommy Pham.
Take a look at this pitch here. There's a good look at the fastball with Tommy Pham coming out early and hacking, and we got on top of it just a little bit. It's a nice swing for the right-hander.
He's a threat as well. 12 steals this year in 19 attempts. Mendez doesn't bother with him, and his first pitch in there for a strike to Matt Duffy. And Duffy, that average just below 300 now, but among American League third basemen, he is the class in that regard. His on base 362. Now you think of third base as a good power position too, and from that standpoint, Duffy may be a little bit lacking. Check in on Pham. Duffy with just 4 home runs this year and 42 RBIs. Now Rangers apparently taking a quick look at that upstairs to see if that play might have been closer, and Bandy says no, go ahead.
Snap throw for Mendez, a quick one and a good one. Had that throw been on the bag, maybe they would have had a chance. Now it's not an easy throw to make, and left-handed pitchers will try to mix that in once in a while. That quick step off and throw. You don't see too many runners get picked off on that.
That one just missed. 1-1 to Duffy. He went to Long Beach State. Came up and was pretty good. You know, the very kind of toolsy prospect, and had a good 2015 with the Giants. Was traded to Tampa Bay as part of the Matt Moore deal. And Duffy, he got hurt about midway through the 2016 season, had a heel injury that also caused him to miss basically all of 2017 as well. Kind of a up and down start for him, and the pickoff throw to first this time gets Pham. Well, they continue to work on him, and eventually Mendez got him 2 away.
That's a great job by Mendez. We saw the snap throw the first time around, and then we saw him come back with that traditional move, and you see him get that foot down really quickly. And I think what helped there a little bit is that it was a slide step move, right? So there wasn't a lot of time to read what he was doing with the leg kick. It was a short leg kick, and he made an excellent throw.
I feel like I don't see that move very often, right? The 45-degree angle to the baseline is usually kind of a higher leg kick.
Yeah, more often than not, when you slide step, you're going to go ahead and make that pitch. You'll see the slide step move. You just don't see it very often.
Yeah.
And I think that's what base runners are looking for. If they feel like you're slide stepping, they feel a little bit more confident that you're throwing home, and so they might get aggressive with their secondary or start leaning towards second.
Love it.
Take a look at this one more time for Mendez. Watch this here. Watch the leg kick. It's not going to come up very high, but also I want to see where that foot lands. Yeah, he does a good job. We talk about 45-degree angle is what you have, and that's based on where your back foot is. And he even dropped his arm down a little bit to get the throw there quicker.
Now Duffy swings and misses, strike 3. Wow. Well, pretty impressive top of the first for Yohander Mendez. Now the Rangers bats go to work. Come to bat, 64 wins, 87 losses. Our Southwest Airlines starting lineup has 2 in left field. Rougned Odor batting second and playing second, and Andrews hit short. Mazzara, Beltre, Profar in the middle. Beltre's the DH. Guzman at first, Carlos Perez doing the catching, and Carlos Tocci in center field, rounding it out.
Take a look at the pitch arsenal for Castillo and what the Rangers will be seeing here this afternoon, and it's a pretty simple repertoire. It's a cutter though that he uses a lot at 47%, 2-seam fastball and 4-seam fastball, so no real breaking ball in the repertoire for Castillo, at least nothing that he has shown this year. And you see that 97.4 average fastball velocity. That is 7th best in the American League. So the cutter averages around 90. The fastball will sit anywhere from 96 to 100. Cutter will probably have some pretty decent depth to it, knowing that it's about on average 8 to 10 miles an hour off the fastball, so it might act a little bit more like a slider than a true cutter.
Well, his first offering to Chu way inside. Did that get just a piece? No, it did not. So somewhere between a slider and a cutter, some mixture of the two then, is what you're saying?
Sometimes they have a nickname for it.
Okay.
A cutter would be. Look at this one at 101 miles per hour, and it missed everything. It missed Chu, it missed the umpire, and it missed the catcher.
1-0 pitch. And that one out to left field. Things up a little bit for Pham, able to get back there and make the play. One out here in the first.
Let's take a look at the Rays defense, which is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Tommy Pham, Malik Smith, and Carlos Gomez getting a start out in right field. Good to see him in the lineup after taking that fastball off the helmet. Matt Duffy, Willie Adames, Joey Wendle, Jake Bowers, and Jesus Sucre doing the catching.
So Castillo gets a quick out of 2, and now Rougned Odor.
I saw Carlos Gomez before the game today, and he was all smiles, feeling fine. I said, man, you all right, dude? That was a little scary yesterday. No, I'm fine, no problem. As usual, jovial self, happy as can be.
He handled it well yesterday. I was pretty impressed. 21st time he had been hit by a pitch this year. Well, the first pitch to Odor missed at 102 miles per hour. And he fouls this one away. That one at 100 miles per hour. So this was the Gomez hit by pitch last night. Connor Sadzik lost one inside, and that was really scary.
If he didn't have that C flap on, that flap that comes around and covers his jaw, might have been a little bit of a different story. And we did our Little League thing last night. And here's that cutter. See the depth on it? I mean, it really is more like a slider. But talking about that, the team that my youngest currently plays on, it is required. Not by the league or anything, but a team requirement that we wear the C flap.
I think it's a good idea.
Team rule. And if you start the kids young, they get really comfortable with it, and then it's a non-issue going forward. And you try to do it later in your career, whether as an amateur or professional, it can be a little bit of a distraction. But we see guys like, obviously, Carlos Gomez and Stanton, Jason Hayward, guys that have gotten hit. And some guys, remember Josh Donaldson started wearing it, not because he had gotten hit, he just felt like guys were working him in. And as hard as these guys throw these days, it just wasn't worth taking that chance anymore.
2-2 to Odor, and a swing and a miss. He strikes out, 2 away. Don Castillo off to a good start, and a 3.36 first inning ERA for Tampa Bay this year. That is the lowest in the American League.
What they're going to have to figure out is how we can sort stats and somehow work the openers in there. Right? So we could take out Tyler Glass now and take out Blake Snell and say, okay, of their starters that were never going more than 2 innings intentionally, somehow, some way, what is their first inning ERA? Because I guarantee that number probably drops a pretty good amount. At least that's what they'd want to see, that number is really low.
All right, heater from Castillo inside on Andrews. But cut a corner for a strike. Castillo, hard thrower, obviously. We've seen him over 100 miles per hour here several times. Just 24 years old. One of 10 children in his family. That one fouled away.
He has throw 100?
All of them throw 100. He has 6 brothers who all throw 100 and 3 sisters who throw 100. Maybe he just summoned all of their pitching powers, and maybe that's why he throws so hard. 6'3", 240 pounds.
But think about that, right? Where does he in the birth order? Do you know?
I do not know.
So can you imagine, right, as a scout, come across this guy, just throwing, you're throwing 100. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm one of 10.
Here's my card.
Yeah, I mean, you are. Look at this play.
Well, that's an unfortunate little tapper fair, and Andrews doesn't even bother. Inning over. And that's an unceremonious scoreless first inning. We go to the second. A lot of sunshine today. A couple of clouds up above. Oh, the kids back out. It was a Little League night last night. Some of them, I think, maybe just so excited about it, they had to come out and see some more today. Get plenty of water. C.J. Cron leading things off here in the second. Cron, Wendle, and Carlos Gomez. And it's 1-1.
They get to finish that thought on Castillo, right? If you're a scout and you see that arm and then he tells you he's one of 10, you're beelining it to that house, knocking on the door.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Just hang around the neighborhood a little bit. How are the Castillos today? 2-1. And Mendez misses a little up. Well, Cron, 27 home runs, 64 RBIs this year.
Kind of a fun commercial, right? Where they're all sitting at the table and passing things around at the dinner table to each other, but it's super fast.
Well, a walk to start this second inning. Mendez puts the lead man on. Well, hard to believe, but our last post-game fireworks show coming up on this Friday night. Rangers-Mariners opening game of a 3-game series. And then afterwards, we'll have the fireworks show set to the 2018 season highlights. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. We certainly hope you'll join us. Well, Mr. Wendle. And he hits this ball down toward that right field corner. Drops in. That's a base hit. Cron into third base, and he will pull up there following the Wendle double. And for Wendle, his 23rd double this season.
Is that 3 in a row and 3 consecutive at bats? I get that wrong. Take a look at the pitch here. 4-seam fastball, and they're trying to go away. You see where it finished up and in, and see Wendle turn on it. Didn't drive that ball, but he certainly hit it well enough down the line. Caught it a little bit, I think, off the end. It died somewhat.
It's not wrong, but it's not exactly right.
3 or 4?
Yeah, he singled in the 8th inning last night after a couple of doubles. He had 2 doubles and 2 singles yesterday. In fact, he's now hit in 5 consecutive at bats. Second and third, nobody out, and Gomez off the end of the bat, down that right field line, and just foul. Mazara couldn't quite get to it. Not a lot of room down there.
No, I don't think he's got a chance. As we talked about Joey Wendle and kind of where he stands among rookies in the American League. It's just too many big name guys that are doing some pretty big things, and the power's not there compared to some others. But would you believe that he is, as of today, leading all rookies in WAR, wins above replacement?
Wow. Well, that would surprise me just a little bit. Foul ball by Gomez. A count 0-2. Now, is that Baseball Reference or?
This is Fangraphs Sports. So a little bit more
so
of that
F4.
defense. Yep. And even I think the most cynical of sabermetricians would still not tell you that just because he's leading in WAR that he would be your Rookie of the Year. I don't think. Not when you have Shohei Ohtani with 20 home runs, Miguel Andujar with 24, Torres with 23.
Swing and a miss. Gomez chases one up out of the zone, and that's a huge strikeout for Yohander Mendez.
It's a good game plan and a smart play. We know that Carlos Gomez is aggressive. Now they're trying to go in off the plate, but you can miss up with the 4-seam fastball. You can miss up with pitches. You can miss down because Carlos is very aggressive. He's not afraid to chase some pitches. And you know when he's got a couple of runners in scoring position in that spot that he is doing everything he can to try to drive them in, and maybe even doing a little bit too much there as he got a little bit over aggressive. Low swing percentage of 41% for Carlos Gomez, which tells you he will go out of the zone. Basically 4 out of every 10 pitches that he sees that are not strikes.
Seems like a lot.
It's a big number, yeah. I think league average is right around 30, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even a little lower.
Bauer's a left-handed hitter, one of 3 in the lineup today for Tampa Bay. And he hits this ball hard out to right field. Rising a little bit on Mazara and goes over his head. Cron and Wendle both score. Bauer's into second with a 2-run double. Well, that thing just kept going.
It did. This ball was well struck, and I think caught Nomar Mazara a little bit by surprise. Nobody knows right field as good as Nomar does. 3rd season playing out there for the Rangers, but this one had a little bit more giddy up on it. And it was a good swing from Bauers, and that is a line shot that kept going. I think Nomar thought he had a beat on it, and then he was a little bit surprised at the end as that thing continued to carry and just went off the tip of his glove.
So now Bauer's in scoring position for Willy Adames. 8th place hitter, the shortstop. And he takes off the plate for a ball. Well, decent numbers for Adames. 1-1 the count. Had a home run yesterday. Became the 4th Ray this year to reach double digits in home runs. Pickoff back to second, but nobody covering the bag. Trying to keep everybody alert back there. Another try. This time it goes out into center field. Bowers hops up. He'll head to third base, and he gets in there without a throw. And that'll be an error on Yohander Mendez.
Yeah, interesting decision there by Mendez. We saw this work for him at first base, but now we're going to take a look at the progression here at second base. Here's the first one. And that little spin move, and Luganador was not at the bag. Now this one, and Rugi gave him the sign. So you see that hand? As soon as we call that the open hand, it's the second baseman, and if it's a shortstop, it's the open hand, but it's actually the glove because he's on the other side. And what that is a sign to the pitcher. As soon as he opens his hand that way, that sign is, I'm going to second base. Do not throw a pitch. I want you to try to pick this guy off. If you don't like what you see, you don't have to throw it. But I'm going to be standing at second base in a second, so do not throw a pitch.
Infield in. Diving stop at third. Profar, the throw to the plate. Not in time. It's just a little bit offline. Adames aboard via the fielder's choice. Bowers scores, and it's 3-0.
Well, it's a nice play on the glove side by Jurickson Profar, but tough throw to be able to make at that point when you're down there and you're already on the ground. Watch him right here. This is a great defensive play. Got a little over aggressive on the throw. He couldn't get enough behind you. You see him pull it and then end up short hopping as well to Perez at home.
Well, they scored that a hit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
picks up the RBI.
I guess the question there is whether or not you believed he could have got the runner out at first.
I think he could have.
I think so too. So I think that should have made it a fielder's choice.
I agree. Sucre with the man at first. And just one out in the inning. And he hits this ball in the air out to left field. Chu started back. Now makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
I don't have a problem either with Profar taking that chance. It's just a matter of, the thing you have to be honest with yourself is, after you field that ball, is your body in enough of a position? Obviously he's throwing that ball from the ground, but does he feel like he's balanced enough to be able to make a good strong throw? And you know, early in the game you're down by 2. It's not a bad idea to get aggressive defensively. You just couldn't get enough on it, unfortunately.
So Malik Smith, the leadoff man. He popped up in the first inning. And Smith, the guy who the book was always that he would strike out a lot. He might walk a little bit. His numbers this year all the way around have been really pretty good. And he has not punched out maybe as much as people would have worried about at 86 strikeouts for the year. But that's against 43 walks, which led to that high on base percentage we gave you a little bit earlier. You look back since August 1st, so nearly, well, I guess we'll call it a little better than 6 weeks now. He's hitting .336. 0-2 pitch. And that one fouled back out of play.
That's really worked out for him in Tampa. Of course, he started with the Atlanta Braves. I spent, I don't know what, all of a day with the Seattle Mariners, maybe less.
Yeah, it might have been less.
Was it a waiver claim and then a trade, or a trade? I think it was. I think it might have been a trade and a trade. But he's found himself a home here, and he's really proven what he can do. I think the part that I've been most impressed with is how good he's been against lefties, putting the ball in play. The batting average coming into this one from Alex Smith, .351 against lefties. He did pop out in his first at bat, so that'll go down a tick. That's a really impressive number.
0-2. Whoa, nothing in. It was a trade and a trade.
That was trade and trade. Okay.
January of 2007, Atlanta traded him along with Shea Simmons to the Mariners. A couple of players back, and then the Mariners turned around a little bit later in the day and traded him along with Carlos Vargas, a minor leaguer, and Ryan Yarborough to Tampa Bay for Drew Smiley.
Well, they must not like what they saw from Alex over those
Probably.
few hours.
Yeah. January is a tough time to evaluate a player.
I don't like to put a lot of stock into it.
One-two pitch. Ooh, pitch out is on. Well, how many of those have we seen this year? An actual pitch out.
So that conversation came up in the meeting the other day with Jeff Bannister, and one of the writers asked him about pitching out, traditional pitch outs, and you don't do that too often. You know, Banny's not one to give away strategy necessarily. He kind of gave that sideways slide look as if not to say what exactly they like to do. But there's other ways you can quote unquote pitch out without actually pitching out.
Well, Smith strikes out to win the second inning. A 3-run second though for the Rays. They have the early lead. Department of Transportation to remind you to click it or ticket day and night. Gorgeous sky today here in Arlington as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Mazara, Beltre, and Profar coming up. As Emily pointed out in the pregame, gorgeous day.
Agreed. I'd be all about 15 degrees cooler.
Oh,
but still a beautiful day.
well,
right?
it's warmed up 2 degrees since first pitch.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, right? We've had those day
Yeah.
games. We had that game where we had 102 first pitch, 108 last pitch. It was a Sunday 2 o'clock start a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Mazara starting the second inning. 20 home runs this year, 74 RBIs. He's in a hole 0-2. This is Castillo. He's got some pretty good stuff. He was untouched in the first inning. The one strikeout of Rougned Odor, and now jumps ahead of Mazara 0-2. Hard throwing right-hander. Castillo last year was named the Rays minor league reliever of the year. He led the Rays system in saves for a second consecutive season. Not a huge surprise that he would matriculate to the big leagues this year for his debut and become a big part of this opener system that they've been working with. He's 24 years old.
His fastball, we told you, averaged 97, right? And that was 7th in the American League. He hasn't thrown a 97-mile-an-hour fastball yet today. It's been 98 to 102.
There you go, 100.
He could be a day game guy.
Well, maybe.
Maybe the body feels a little bit better. Everyone's different. There are some players that absolutely despise day games. And then there's guys that are all about it.
Well, I like day games.
You do?
Yeah. 2-2.
Calling them or playing in them? I guess pretty much as kids, we only played in day
That's
games.
all. Yeah, that's really all we had.
How about the first time you got under the lights in any situation?
Yeah, pretty cool.
So cool.
Very cool. Yeah, feeling big time. Full count to Mazara. Castillo's payoff on the way. Well, Nomar putting a good at bat on him. It was a 10-pitch first inning for Castillo. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. But he strikes out swinging, one away. All right, on a sunny, beautiful day, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, of course, day game when school started. You got to highlight the kids who are skipping school to be here. And representing all the kids skipping school today, Kelly, Maddie, and John are going to accept it on behalf of all those playing hooky from school today, guys.
Nice.
Can I get a go Rangers from everybody?
Holy Ferris Bueller, Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm obviously not a very good teacher.
So
How about a
have two.
Go Rangers?
Go Rangers!
Yes,
There we go.
Thanks for picking me up, girl.
So while that's a good choice, I would go with the Parents of the Year that should get the bag, because they pulled their kids out of school so they could go watch a baseball game. They have gotten that award locked up here in 2018.
Beltre lost one out into short left center field. Long run out there, and Wendle knocked it down. Beltre to second base, and he'll stop there. Boy, tough play for Joey Wendle. He had the angle, I suppose you could say. That ball just kind of kept drifting and drifting to the outfield.
That ball came off the bat really strangely. It had some weird kind of action on it. We don't see this too much on fly balls. So the way that this was hit, I think it kind of fooled everybody, and we see that shift, and this was where nobody was. And how often do you see a second baseman in this area trying to catch a pop-up, a long way to run? Joey Wendle just couldn't get it in and out of the glove. A tremendous effort. That is called hitting them where they ain't. I mean, if you were to try to throw a fly ball somewhere that would be tough for anybody on the field to get to, that would have been the spot.
So he gets his 21st double of the season. Launch angle on that one, 47 degrees.
Really? I thought it should have been higher.
What was the...
There's been some 80s. Oh, not home runs. No, I think the highest home run's been about 46, 47.
Yeah. You say we've seen some 80s, though?
I think on outs.
Pop-ups.
I believe so. Could have made that up.
One and one to Profar, so Beltre with that double gives a little space now between himself and David Ortiz, and he's just 5 back of Albert Pujols. Probably not going to catch Yaz this year, but he can catch Albert. Rangers have not scored in this series. That was their 7th hit. And Castillo looking at Beltre, and Beltre playing around with him afterward. This is fairly typical of our favorite Adrian.
Yeah, I totally exaggerated. Highest pop-ups 54.6.
Is that right?
Yeah. Look out.
Ball and 2 strikes now on Profar. What's Beltre doing back there?
He's having fun.
He and Adames. The game of tag. 1-2. And a pop up near second base. Another chance for Wendle. And that is out number 2. So our Kubota Power stats today regarding the Tampa Bay Rays starting pitchers. So no runs allowed now in 11 innings. 3 hits, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. That's coming into the series, or rather into today's ball game. So you can add a hit to that now. And that's going to do it for Castillo. Kevin Cash out there and takes the baseball away from Castillo. Yarbrough coming on in relief.
Sort of.
Out of the second inning, our who's in, who's out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. So Ryan Yarbrough is who's in, is Castillo now the man who's out. But for that missed pop-up by Beltre, it could have been 2 scoreless for him. Instead, Yarbrough takes over here with 2 out in the second.
And he's done a really nice job in this role, and this is a guy that you would look at as a starter, but technically now their primary pitcher. But also the way that you use your opener and bringing him in right in this spot. They had decided he was going to face Guzman, get the lefty, whether it was going to be this inning or the next, and then also get the bottom of the order.
Guzman slaps the first one down to first base. Bowers to the bag, and Yarbrough makes it look pretty easy. 2 innings in the books. It's 3-0 Rays. 7-2 Rangers, and come on out on Saturday. A Also Sunday, maybe Friday. Whatever works for you. Tommy Pham, first pitch swinging, lines this one out to right field, and it's going to carry all the way to the seats. Pham is homered for the 18th time this year. And it's 4-0 Tampa Bay.
Tommy Pham is a strong man. He's got a lot of power, and he just displayed it right there to go opposite field on a line drive against the lefty. That was a nice piece of hitting and showing what Tommy Pham can do. We mentioned this last night. Not a bad pitch at all. Down and away on the corner. He's looking out over the plate. Look how still that head is, and it's down on the ball. Crush that thing.
Now, that was his 4th home run with the Rays. 14 with St. Louis. Is now Duffy. And on the 1-0, he'll send it out to Carlos Tocci in center field for out number 1.
All right, so I totally have to correct myself. I did botch the launch angle situation, probably to nobody's surprise, and here's why. When I did a launch angle search, I just said, give me all the fly balls, highest launch angle. What I didn't check, because in Baseball Savant there's some really fun stuff you can do there. There's also a pop-up box. I didn't check pop-ups because I went and looked when Jurickson Profar popped out. I'm like, that's definitely higher than 40-something degrees, and it was. It was 62 degrees.
Ground ball, shortstop, and Andrews with a good throw. 2 away.
Let's do a little StatCast AI powered by AWS and show you some of the work that Tommy Pham did. And 101 miles an hour off the bat, 384 feet for a Rays outfielder. But so then I went back and looked, highest one, and then I checked pop-ups. And sure enough, 81.4 degrees.
Who was that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
No, it's just that it counts, but it's Wade Miley, the pitcher.
Okay.
But he has the highest pop-out. He's the only one in the 80s. And the next highest is Corey Oswald, who's also a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
So 74.6. Everyone else is in the 60s or lower. So there's 2 pitchers that are in there, which, we know. Who knows what kind of swings they're taking.
2 balls and no strikes on Wendle, who doubled in the 2nd inning. And he hits this ball on the ground and into right field, base hit. Guzman looks like he thought about that for a moment. And I don't know, might well have been a ball he could get. Because then afterward he reacted like, oh, what was I thinking? Maybe I should have gone for that ball.
Part of your job as an infielder, of course, is to know where your other infielders are and which areas are yours to cover and which do you have to realize, hey, I might have to get back to the bag, and is that a ball that Odor can get? But it wasn't the case for Ronald Guzman, so sometimes you find yourself guessing yourself or getting caught in between.
Gomez now, he struck out last time up. Wendle, the TXU Energy power player to watch. I mean, he's 7 for 10 in this series. And now his .299 average leads all major league rookies and would be a Rays rookie record by 10 points. Rocco Baldelli, the .289 some 15 years ago. This one popped up on the infield. And this time Guzman down the line makes the play. So the inning is over. The Rays will have to settle for 1 run. They scored 4 so far. Rangers haven't scored yet. It sounds really good right now. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 4-0. Rays on top. The Rays have been pretty good lately, CJ, and
good all year.
Good enough all year to be. Too bad they play in the East.
It's unbelievable to think, right? That 84-66 record. They'd be leading, and they'd be tied right now, actually, with the Cleveland Indians if they were in the American League Central. They'd be leading the National League East by a game, the National League West by a game and a half. If they were in the National League Central, they'd be locked in for the 2nd wild card right now. Now, you could play that game in your head, and you kind of do that stuff. I used to do that as a kid. Do you ever do that as a kid?
For sure.
You're watching your team like, oh, man, if they were in the other division, they'd be in 4th place instead of 7th. We just had the 2 divisions, right? East and West.
Yeah, nice.
But it's a good tip of the cap to the Rays and what they're doing, and it doesn't make them feel any better because they're not going to be in the postseason this year. But at the same time, they have a lot of things to point to that they have to be feeling pretty good about, and Kevin Cash has done a really nice job with this club.
Swing and a miss, and Carlos Perez strikes out to start the 3rd inning. time for the showstopper. Saw this one, no doubt. Neil Walker, the 3-run homer last night. Yankees beat the Red Sox 3-2. Not going to let the Red Sox clinch it yet. Of course, much rather than not clinch it at Yankee Stadium.
It was a nice moment for Neil Walker, right? He doesn't seem like a bat drop kind of guy, but he knew he got it. He knew what a big home run it was in a situation like that against the Red Sox. Even though the Red Sox are going to win that division, he seemed to really enjoy that.
Tochi flares one out over first, drops in, base hit. The Rangers have a man on here in the 3rd inning.
A good job here by Carlos Tochi to make it happen. Not easy to do against the lefty on a pitch that is in. He was able to fight it off and bloop it in there for a base hit as the Rangers try to get something going here. It has been a slow series for them offensively against the Rays.
Okay, so Tochi out there now for the top of the order. Here comes Chu, who flied out in the 1st inning, 0 for 1. And he'll take a strike. You know, Tochi, I was thinking about this earlier today when writing him in my lineup card. When we were at spring training, part of the intrigue was, hey, you know, we think this guy could run maybe a little more than he has in his minor league career. Chu shoots that one into left field, base hit. Tochi will turn second but hold. 2 men on in the 3rd inning.
Nice job here on back-to-back base hits by the Rangers. That's a pretty good pitch from Yarbrough and a nice job by Chu. And we know this, right? We see it all the time with him, his ability to go the other way on that outside pitch. Left on left, it doesn't matter. And the good season for Chu continues.
Still a couple of base runners for Rougned Odor. You see him, Tochi out there in the distance. Chu on the near screen. Might well be. The Rangers haven't had multiple runners on base very often, it seems, of late. And in this series, this might be the only time we've had that. Nope, I take it back. Monday night in the 1st inning, the Rangers had a hit, batter, and a walk in the same inning. Had 2 men on base. That is the only time in this series that they've had multiple men on base in an inning. Prior to this, Rangers have not yet scored against the Rays in this series. And I think you could say this is maybe their best opportunity yet. Odor with 18 home runs, 63 RBIs. Two-0 pitch. Yarbrough came on the back of Diego Castillo, who faced 6 hitters. Castillo allowed 1 hit. It was the double by Adrian Beltre that was nearly caught. And Yarbrough got 2 outs, 1 to end the 2nd inning, 1 to start this 3rd inning, but now back-to-back hits. It's 2-2. Now, I was interested by the fact that Yarbrough came in mid-inning last inning, because in all the talk of the opener, oftentimes it's about, well, that guy, the primary pitcher, is going to want and or need a clean inning to come in.
I think they actually did it the right way, which is you're setting this thing up that your primary pitcher is getting the bottom of the order, and there's probably a matchup that you like. And so regardless of what is happening, I like the idea of bringing him in. Now, traditionally, I've said for years, I've never liked when you bring in a starter, especially in the postseason, who hasn't done it before, then you bring him in the middle of an inning, right? How many times you see a starter go down to the bullpen and he's helping out a team in the postseason, he comes in the middle of the inning, he's completely uncomfortable and he struggles. That is a normal trend. But I think in this situation, as you're using the opener, you have a designated part of the lineup that you would like to see your primary guy come in. I think you bring him in regardless.
Odor swings and misses, and that strikeout is the 2nd out of the inning. All right, time now for Chevy Game Break as we say hello for the first time today to Dana Larson. Thanks, Dana. And I'm glad, not necessarily that it's the Dodgers, but that somebody just took control of that thing.
What? You don't want the three-way tie chaos at the end of the year?
Well, it's not that as much as I was getting tired of watching teams lose a lot and still lead a division. There's a base hit out into left field, and that will get Tochi to the plate. So the Rangers have scored their first run of this series. Elvis Andrus with an RBI single to left field.
And you know that had to feel good for Elvis, who was really frustrated with his last at-bat. He had that check swing kind of tapper that Castillo picked up and just tagged him out. So this is Elvis coming in a big spot coming through. You see this pitch stay flat and up, and Elvis has got that good level swing, lined that thing to left center field, and the Rangers are finally on the board against the Rays.
That's a little lift. Good to break that seal. We'll see if they can turn it into just a little bit more. Frankly, this has been a pretty productive inning with 3 hits already.
And going back real quick to that thought about not bringing your primary guy in, your longer second pitcher. Remember when the Twins did it against the Rangers, and we saw Gabriel Moya start, run into a little bit of trouble. Then we saw Buznitz, one of their other relievers, get up to maybe try to get them out of that first inning. He didn't have to come in, so he warmed up in the first inning because they didn't want to bring their primary guy in the middle of an inning. And then he had to pitch again later in the 7th inning.
Right.
So he sat around for 2 hours and he really struggled. And so I think it's one of those things where it might be a better play. Now, you may have a primary / starter who you're just not comfortable putting in that spot, and you don't do it. But I think the idea of maybe getting guys comfortable coming in the middle of the inning is probably key to making this work properly without killing the rest of your staff.
Well, Yarborough, after a brief visit, goes back to work, this time to Nomar Mazara. 2 outs in the inning, but a couple of base runners out there for Nomar. This ball hit well out to right field, but Gomez a couple of steps to his right, and he'll haul it in. The inning is over. The Rangers will have to settle for 1. We have a couple of runners out there, but at least they're on the board. We go to the 4th inning, 4-1. Sea dealer today, and by the Texas Department of Transportation, we remind you to click it or ticket day and night. 3 innings in, 4-1. Tampa Bay with the lead, and the first pitch to Bowers, lifted out to right field, 1 away. That's how you get things started for Yohander Mendez. Gives us a moment too to check in with the folks over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
1 pitch, 1 out. Damas, who reached on the infield hit. It was a ball hit down to third base. Profar went to the plate with it, thinking maybe get an out there. And they scored Adames with a base hit. Even though with Profar up on the edge of the grass and a well-hit ball, came up with it quickly. I feel like he would have gotten him. But that's neither here nor there. Probably picked up Ben May, our plate umpire, calling timeout.
I think Mendez trying to catch a little bit of a groove. He did a nice job getting that first pitch out. The Rangers got on the board. He wants to get a quick inning here, get them back in the dugout. Saw some action in the Rays bullpen last inning, and he's certainly aware of that. And wants to give his offense a chance to get right back in there and add on.
Here's a 1-2. Boy, that just missed. Yohander thought he had it.
That changeup has been good for him today. And that was another one that was well painted down and away. And I mentioned this when we went through his arsenal at the beginning of the game. So he goes back with the changeup once again. But that changeup's been good for him. Came into today with a 118 batting average against. Good neutralizer against the right-handed hitters, and the location is what has been impressive. You don't see a ton of movement, a little bit of fade on it, but he's been able to put it down and away with a pretty good amount of consistency so far here this afternoon.
Oh, it's 2-2 to Adames, and that one fouled away.
And it's an important pitch for him too, as we often talk about with secondary pitches, is that it will help his fastball play up a little bit. And it averages around 92. We've seen him anywhere from 88 to 92 so far this afternoon. But if you throw that changeup with some consistency, the fastball will appear to be a little bit quicker and jump on those hitters a little bit faster.
Adames making him work a little bit here in this 4th inning. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. 1 out, nobody on. And this one sent out to the seats. Looks like he could do that all day. We'll get the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up next. First time Johanner's ever faced the Rays.
I heard somebody say the other day, and I cannot remember who it was, that a hitter never takes a swing to intentionally foul a ball off.
I don't buy that.
I don't buy that either. And I'm always reluctant with those kinds of things to second guess what hitters are thinking and approaching, and or approach what it is and execution, all that stuff. But I find that very hard to believe. And I wish I could remember who said it. It was a somewhat reputable voice. I was like, I don't think I agree with that.
Like a former player type?
Yeah, I think so.
A couple problems with that as Sucre stands in now. There's that good move over to first. I think the first problem is it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think anybody who's watched enough baseball has seen somebody just try and fight off a pitch to earn another one. But the second one is anytime you're saying something is a blanket statement for all of a group, you probably missed.
Especially one that dates back as long as that group does, professional hitters.
Yeah. That'd be like saying, I don't think any pitcher has ever thrown with the intent of hitting a batter. Well, you're wrong. Keep a close eye on Adames down there at first. Looks to be flattered by the attention. Adames does have 6 steals this year in 10 tries. Mendez with a high leg kick and a big swing and a miss by Sucre. So Sucre flied out to left field back in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. It was a 3-run 2nd inning for the Rays. They added a run of the 3rd on the Tommy Pham homer. The 1-2 pitch. Looked like Perez was asking for that low and it missed high. Two. And a bouncer left side of the infield. Profar right off of his glove. And it bounces out into left field. Adames heads to third base. He gets there easily. And so the Rays have him on the corners.
Tough break for Jurickson Profar because he couldn't quite get to that ball. Went off the end of the glove. You'll watch it here. He's ranging the best he possibly can to his left. It was a great effort. But because he slowed that ball down, that ultimately allowed Adames to go all the way to third base. I don't think he saw it at first because he did not come around second all that aggressively. And then he picked up the ball and still had plenty of time to get to third.
So base hit for Sucre. Runners on the corners. Malik Smith. Speedy left-handed batter, and that's strike 1.
It's that kind of tweener safety squeeze, right? With his speed, he could turn it into a hit, but then also potential RBI. When you're the runner in this situation down at third base, it's not a suicide squeeze. You're not sprinting home. You're getting a strong secondary, and then as soon as you see that ball down, you're gone.
One and one. The various base running responsibilities a guy might have in the game, I've always felt like that one is one of the more challenging ones. Just a little opportunity for miscommunication or a misread on your part, whatever, as a runner at third base. I'd be less comfortable as that runner at third. I'd rather, it's all or nothing for me, right?
Yeah.
Let's call it a suicide squeeze, I'm going, or let's not.
Well, we've learned yesterday that third base is an issue for you. Running around third, right? You told us that story about when you homered and tripped over third.
Kind of felt like we were in a place of trust when I told that story. There's a base hit out to right field by Smith, and it gets the run home. So 5-1 Tampa Bay.
Take a look at the pitch here from under Mendez. And Alex Smith continues to hit lefties well this year. Mentioned 351 coming into today. They were trying to go back down and away. Another time you saw most of the pitches were located down and away, and that one stayed up in the zone, which allowed Alex Smith an opportunity to line it into center for that base hit. I'm with you though on third. You're absolutely right. Just a lot can go wrong there. Every base that you're leading off gives different opportunities, but also a different set of challenges.
Okay, another visit. Conversing with Mendez and company out there, and there is activity. It's our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Jeffrey Springs getting loose. Well, Mendez, all he needs is a ground ball here and potentially get himself out of the inning. But we've seen some pretty good contact here these last couple of innings. 3 hits in the second, 2 hits last inning, including a home run. A couple of hits this inning to go along with a walk. And Pham, 2 for 2 so far today. He takes strike 1.
Mendez has gotten 2 ground ball double plays this year. This certainly would be an ideal spot if he can find a way to keep the ball below the zone. Get that ground ball to get him out of this inning.
We saw Pham hit into one early in the game last night too. In fact, the Rays have bounced into 5 such double plays in this series.
How about the Adames at bat, the walk, right? Not only the length of the at bat, it was a 10-pitch at bat when it was all said and done, but remember when he stepped out, he was trying to slow down the rhythm with Yohander Mendez after he got the first pitch fly out to start this inning. And ever since then now, Thomas drew the walk and it's been back-to-back base hits. So he did a good job of disrupting that rhythm.
Bouncer wide of the bag foul at third. He's also slowed him down. I mean, he has definitely put the brakes on this inning. And I think it's an important point you bring up, because there are times when Yohander Mendez is working with a little more of an upbeat tempo and really on the attack. And I think that's when we have seen him be successful. But this inning, that Adames moment you pointed out, did slow him down, and the whole inning is slowed down for him. 1-2. There's a big swing and a miss. So a strikeout for the second out of the inning. And he solves Pham for the first time today.
So if you're looking into the little things as the Rangers are evaluating young players, here's a really good at-bat to look at some success for Yohander Mendez. I mentioned how good the changeup has been, and he goes with that kind of split grip that he uses. And you just talked about a righty. We've seen it now. Base hit, home run. How many times have we talked about third time through the order, and how that is an issue for a lot of pitchers and something teams keep a close eye on? Well, he gets a good hitter who's already gotten a couple of base hits, including that home run against him. Third time through the order, he makes the adjustment that he's got to make with his back against the wall and a couple of runners on base, which one wrong pitch could knock him out of this game. And he bears down. He does a really nice job striking out Tommy Pham with a great changeup down and away.
Duffy in the air out to right field. Nobody home. That one drops in. Sucre scores from second base. Malik Smith behind him scores all the way from first. That's a 2-run double for Duffy. And the Rays now on top 7-1. So Jeff Bannister has seen enough, and he signals to the bullpen Mendez's day is done in the 4th. Fan Appreciation Day. Fans will get a 2018 Rangers team photo, complete with next year's schedule on the back. You'll also get a voucher for a free ticket to select games in 2019. You're not going to want to miss all the prizes and giveaways between every inning during the game, including autographed baseballs and jerseys. So come on out and see us on Sunday. Get your ticket to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Well, Jeffrey Springs making his 15th appearance now.
It's been a good run here so far for Jeffrey Springs. He had a rough one in his last one in San Diego, but overall he's thrown the ball pretty well. You see 23 strikeouts to 11 walks. You'd love to see that from a rookie left-hander. Game number 15 for him, and he comes in a situation where he's got to deal with a runner in scoring position. Seen Jeffrey used as the opener a couple times with the Rangers. Done a nice job in that role. He's only inherited 3 runners so far this year, so that's number 4 out there on second base. Only one of those 3 has scored.
Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Wow, that was close. I know Perez has a great arm, and Matt Duffy just learned that firsthand.
Rangers wondering if they want to challenge this or not. Nope, decide not to. Ultimately, we'll take a look at this. Nice throw from Carlos Perez. A good one. Other side of the bag, and they probably have him.
It's a 1-1 pitch to Duffy, and that's off the plate. 2-1 the count. Pardon me, to Cron. Cron had walked and scored in the second inning. In fact, scored the first run of this game. Grounded out in the 3rd inning. And that's a little tight. 3-1. Cron has hit a little rough patch lately. Last 11 games, hitting just 171. But on a career high, 27 homers for the year. Hits this one well to center field. Back on it, Tochi near the wall, and that one off his glove, and he's off the wall. Duffy scores. Cron around second, heads to third, and he's in there. And that'll be a triple to make it 8-1 Tampa Bay. For Cron, his first triple of the year.
This ball was well struck, and it was a great effort by Carlos Tochi as he had to deal with that wall in deep right center field. You see where he's playing. They had the alignment right, but watch this ball as he got turned around a little bit. That would have been an incredible catch. Line drive right over his head. That's a tough play. Carlos Tochi almost came up with it. That's a pretty hard hit he took to that wall. Watch him right here. No time to slow down at all.
Now Joey Wendle, he's been a tough out for the Rangers. 2 for 2 today. It's hits in now 6 straight at bats. He's 7 for 10 in the series. Two and 0. Well, there are 2 outs in the inning. Need just one more to get this to the bottom of the 4th inning. Slow start for the Rangers, down 8-1. Well, Yohander Mendez, you can close the line on him. All the runs today charged to his line. 7 of the 8 runs earned. But 3 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Wendle takes outside. It's 3 balls and a strike. Wendle's been a very versatile guy for the Rays. I see him a little bit like a Ben Zobrist of years past. And he takes the walk and continues the inning. And they've used him everywhere. Second, left, third, short. Well, after the walk, been on the corners with 2 out. Our WinStar World and Casino, or rather World Casino and Resort leaderboard. So runs in the month of September, Rays have the most in Major League Baseball. They have overtaken the Cardinals with their 8 runs to start this one today. Gomez has not been a big part of the offense today. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop-up. Pops this one up near second base. Odor on the grass, maybe a step on the dirt, and that will end the inning. A 4-run inning though for the Rays. So we go to the last of the 4th. It'll be Beltre, Profar, and Ronald Guzman coming up. Rangers in a big hole early. Coming up, our first ever Whataburger night at Globe Life Park. It's going to be this Saturday. Purchase theme night tickets to this special offer and receive a limited edition Whataburger themed Texas Rangers trucker hat. Get your tickets at texasrangers.com/theme nights. Pretty cool looking hat. We saw one last night. So that'll be Saturday. Adrian Beltre stands in here and he takes a strike from Ryan Yarborough.
So I got an early start on my Whataburger hat we had yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Took one home. Instantly claimed by my daughter. She's like, oh, I have got to give this to one of my friends. I said, how come? She says, because they love all things Texas and they love Whataburger.
Oh, interesting. Very
She's
popular.
Like, gotta make it happen. I said, nope, I'm keeping it.
How much is it worth?
Yeah.
Just off the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Adrian. He doubled in the second inning on a ball popped up into short left center field and just kind of a no man's land. This ball hit well out to left field. Pham looking up. It is gone. Beltre with his 13th home run of the year. And there's a little something for the home fans. The great Adrian Beltre circling the bases again, and it's an 8-2 ball game.
That's something that never gets old, is watching Adrian Beltre play the game and to see him hit and go deep into left field once again. As you mentioned, a nice moment for the Globe Life Park crowd here today on a Wednesday afternoon. That was worth skipping school for.
Yep.
Alone, that alone.
Possibly the best behaved dugout celebration of one of his home runs we've seen. I didn't see a single attempt even at touching the head. Ground ball to Wendle at second base, and Profar grounds out.
Let's take a look at the replay here on the home run. That pitch just sat right in the middle of the plate. It was an 81-mile-an-hour changeup, and there's that patented Adrian Beltre swing, the straight leg. In the distance, 388 feet. It came off the bat at 104 miles per hour. A nice play, too. That's not easy to do in the outfield, in the stands, is to navigate. And he should be fist pumping right now, and he deserves some high fives, because the idea, listen, you're in a row, and you're probably not going to change rows. You can go side to side, especially a day like today, a little thin out there, but it doesn't mean it's easy to do. You got to side shuffle. You can't run.
Yeah.
If you run, you're going to fall on your face and look like a fool. And so you side shuffle, and you're thinking, man, is it going to be my row? You're not sure, but you can't come in. You can't go back. You've committed to that row. And that was a tremendous play. Nice job.
For the record, not everyone who falls on their face looks like a fool.
That's a good point. So I was wondering, was he giving the kid a ball or just letting the kid take a picture with the ball? And we now know he was only allowing that younger kid to take a picture with the ball.
I
Just
assume-
everybody, oh, look at that. Oh, high fives.
I assume he was charging just a small fee for each of those pictures.
That's a big one.
The ball, I think that's regulation size.
No, it looked a little big from here. But you never know. We play that game with ourselves, right? And we talk about Adrian Beltre's future.
Oh yeah. Well,
I hope not. I hope we get to see him again and again and again. But when you're in these situations and it's up in the air and he hits a home run at home, still 3 games to go here at the ballpark, but that's a keeper, man, right into the safe at home.
Guzman strikes out. Well, that's number 475. So a significantly numbered home run. 475, and it ties Stan Musial and Willie Stargell. Both of them, by most accounts, pretty good at baseball. 30th on the all-time list right there. So 2 gone for Carlos Perez. Yeah, you're right. That's a big baseball. Perez grounds one foul.
I told you that story, 1995. Yankees' last home game of the season. I was with the Detroit Tigers. Don Mattingly was up. Looked like it was going to be his last year. And this is before we kept everything, right? Like every single baseball's kept. He gets a base hit to right field late in the game. Right? I'm like, that very well could be Don Mattingly's last base hit at Yankee Stadium. Keeping an eye on the baseball. The ball stays in play. I'm watching the baseball like a hawk the entire time. He fouls, next batter fouls it into our dugout. I didn't get it, somebody else got it. I'm still keeping my eye on it. I'm thinking there's no way that guy knows. I'm not saying a word to anybody. The guy that had it eventually came to the conclusion that that's what it was. And he kept it.
Perez pops out to end the inning, but a little history, perhaps. Here in the 4th inning, Adrian Beltre, a no-doubter to left field, number 475, in his sure-to-be Hall of Fame career.
The 5th here at Globe Life Park in Arlington, and we just saw Adrian Beltre belt his 475th home run of his career. Truly history in the making on a pretty regular basis when it comes to Adrian Beltre. And in terms of his retirement, he has made it very clear that he will not make that decision until the offseason, but you can kind of see him taking in certain experiences, moments, just things in case it is his last season. So I think he's letting himself kind of go there in the event that that is the decision that's made in the offseason. We all, of course, CJ, as you mentioned, would love to see him come back, but I think you're seeing him take stock of everything as it's happening now in the event that it is his last.
Which means it makes me wonder, does he want that baseball? Would he be interested just in case, or do you put a tab on it? Hey, let me keep in touch with you, just in case.
I don't think so. He
Here's
doesn't seem like
my burner phone number, not my real one.
Do you think?
And I don't know. I mean, listen, there's certain things that you would like to have, even for the guy that's not into it as much. The last home run's kind of a cool one. I gotta believe he's got his first home run ball, right? Maybe, I'm assuming.
What do you think, Emily?
Well, one thing I do know is that it can't be authenticated. So once it leaves the ballpark and you can't maintain the chain of possession, it cannot be authenticated. Now, Adrian can still obviously send someone out to go get it from the fan, but it cannot be authenticated at that point. Make sense?
So then you got to say, do you trust the fan? That guy looked
True.
very trustworthy to me.
Yes.
I trust him.
I trust all of it. One-two pitch. And a strikeout of Adames, 2 away here in the 5th inning. Looking ahead, our forward look ahead against the Mariners on Friday. Tomorrow is an off day. Adrian Beltre, we certainly hope, will be in the lineup in Friday's game. And his career here in this ballpark, Globe Life Park, 494 games. Now that's both with the Rangers and opposing teams over the years. Some pretty good career numbers for Adrian Beltre here. Look, I mean, he has a fond place in his heart for the 8 years he has spent here in Arlington. Ball, 1 strike on Sucre, and I loved, long ago we made the point very clear that if he is to come back and play again, it would be with the Rangers. And this year, when the possibility of some trades were swirling out there. The Rangers, I think, very wisely left that partly to him, saying, like, look, do you want to take part in this trade? Do you want to go play for whatever this team or that team is that would want you? And I'll tell you what, the pull is pretty strong for Adrian Beltre here in Arlington. He loves it here, loves the fans. As this one lined out to center field, that's a base hit for Sucre. And so forget that he's had such a great career. Actually, don't forget that. I mean, but beyond the fact, let's just say that he's had such a wonderful career and done so many cool things in a Rangers uniform. That affection he has here, that relationship that he built here is as cool as anything.
Yep, and obviously is reciprocated here with the fans. They absolutely love Adrian Beltre, all the efforts, all the accolades, everything he has done for this organization, both on and off the field.
2 gone. Malik Smith takes a strike. Smith 1 for 3 with the RBI single his last time up. It's a 3-run second, a run in the third, 4 runs in the fourth for the Rays. 8 runs so far this afternoon on 11 hits. He's scoring some runs to go along with the great pitching. Shutouts the first 2 ball games of this series. Rangers today finally break through. Get a couple of runs. A 1-1 from Springs, very high. Jeffrey's faced 6 batters so far, retired 3 of them. A lot of single, a triple, and a walk. That went good. Yep, 2-2.
It's a good fastball from Jeffrey Springs. The one thing that I've noticed with him, when you first watch him, kind of similar to Mendez, where the fastball doesn't light up the gun a lot, but it plays really well. And you see this in a 2-1 count where you got to believe a hitter is looking fastball. That one had some good jump to it, and we've seen that throughout his 15 games now at the big league level. He's getting later swings and more uncomfortable swings on the fastball than maybe the radar gun would suggest, and that's important. You can hear about and read the data all day long. But the idea of how is the fastball playing at the big league level, because the opposite is true, right? How many guys have we seen 96 to 98 that get squared up pretty regularly by big league hitters? I think it's been a good sign for Jeffrey.
Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on Malik Smith. And Springs has been an opener on a couple of occasions, including for Yohander Mendez. Today, Mendez made the start in a traditional sense, went 3 2/3. And Springs comes in on the back of that. And Alex Smith, man, that's a lot of swings. I need some gloves.
Now, did he forget to put them on when this at bat started, or
I can't believe that, right? There's no way.
Never know. It's a day game. Guys get a little dizzy out there.
There's strike 3. Yeah, and he knew it. Inning is over. All right, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, halfway there so far this afternoon. It's 8-2 Tampa Bay. You can enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and a lot of other stuff. Just download the MLB Ballpark app today. Last of the 5th inning, Rangers trailing 8-2. Carlos Tocci will start things off here in the 5th. And he'll watch one up and away for ball 1. So Yarbrough has come on here as the primary pitcher at the final out of the 2nd inning, and now worked his way into the 5th. And Tocci fouls that one away. It's 1-1. We were talking about this Monday night when the Rays came to town. They are the team that more or less has institutionalized this idea of an opener, different than a bullpen day. And they've had a lot of success with it. Now they've got a couple of really good starters as Tocci shoots this one down the right field line foul. Nice play by the fans. But they They got a couple of nice starters, and then for those spots in the rotation where the Rays just don't have the same kind of confidence, they go with the opener, and it has worked to the tune of a 40-30 record in those spots. 1-2.
They definitely have the right personnel for it, and guys that have really stepped up, and Ryan Yarbrough is one of those guys who has done a really nice job in these spots. He had a 7-inning outing in which he did not start. He went 6 1/3 twice in a game that he did not start. And he's been a success story. Now, we saw when he got himself into a little bit of trouble earlier that there was some action in the bullpen, right? He got out of that jam. The Rays were able to add on offensively, and that allowed him to stay in this game, and it's turning into an extended outing for him once again. And the other part of it, I think, that helps a little bit. Now, I know they used Sergio Romo to do it, and he was like, yeah, let's go for it, whatever. But when you have young pitchers, first time around the big leagues, and they realize, hey, this is what I got to do to stay in the big leagues, then you don't really get very many complaints about it. They'll do whatever it takes.
Tochi strikes out to begin the 5th inning. So you look at that's just sort of the timeline of this process for the Rays. May 19th, they gave it the first run with Sergio Romo, did a nice job. By the 1st of September, they had already set the major league record for relief innings in a season, which of course they're blowing past with each passing day. But their ERA as a team since May 19th, 3.26, that's second best in baseball. So, you know, you kind of cobble it together in this unique way, and they've done it with a lot of success. Rays have gone 13-3 over the last 16 games, as an example. I mean, the long term since May 19th has been successful for them, but even as the season draws nigh, they seem to be getting better and better. And the competition, you look at their schedule, up until very recently, they've been playing some of the better teams in baseball. 2 strikes out quickly and easily here in the 5th inning. Sucre will have to throw him out, but that was a 3-pitch strikeout. 2 away in the 5th. Since August 19th, 22-5. They've already won this series, so that's 8 in a row. And their team batting average and team ERA, both the best in baseball since August 19th.
It's something to be proud of for them. Essentially the last month at the big league level, what they've done over their last 27 games. And I think the thing that I'm most interested to see going into next year is how many true starters will they have in their rotation. Currently they have 2. Right, it's pretty much Glass now and Blake Snell. That's kind of how they're doing it. Can they do a 3-man opener rotation essentially with a regular roster, not expanded, right? That's the other part of it. It's a little bit easier to do right now with expanded rosters. Would they carry the extra pitcher? Would they have, I say carry the extra pitcher, but really maybe not. If you only have 2 starters, you have a 10-man bullpen all the time. If that's just a regular 12-man staff.
And of course, you're going to option players up and down a lot,
Yep.
but
that's the part too. You have to have young, control over players with options.
And
you
that
can't have a
works
bunch of veterans without options.
true, and that works for the way they're set up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they run things in general. 1-2 pitch to Odor, and he'll fight that one off. So when you pose that question, you know, would they go with let's say a 3-man rotation and then 2 opener spots in the rotation?
Yeah, that I think they could do pretty easily.
Right, that seems.
Right now they have 3 though, right? I think they only have 2 true starters right now.
Right. But going with 2 seems to put a lot of stress.
But if you have this kind of guy like Ryan Yarbrough I mentioned, it's 3 outings that have been a 6 1/3 or more as a reliever, and he's also got some starts in there. And if you feel like it's better for him because you bring him in the bottom of the order in the first time you go through, that limits his exposure to the middle of the order. Right, I mean, here he is now. We're in the 5th inning. He came in the 2nd. He's facing the top of this Ranger order right now. If he can get through Rougned Odor, even Elvis Andrus, there's a chance that he could go through almost to the 7th inning without facing the top of the order for a 3rd time. That's the draw. That's the reason they do this. That was the theory behind it.
Odor takes outside, ball 4, so a 2-out walk. with a bat for Ruge. And gives us a chance to pause for a Chevy game break. We send it back again to Dana Larson. That is a big key, obviously, for all these teams. Thank you, Dana. And most fans probably have seen the news by now about the Cubs closer, Brendan Morrow, who is down for the rest of the year. That's on the opposite end of the spectrum. That's a tough loss for Chicago.
They lost Pedro Strop, at least temporary. Yeah. Strop's not out for the whole year, is he?
I don't believe so. I don't think they've made that determination yet.
But what the Yankees just did right there with those additions, I mean, you couldn't make a trade like that. Have that kind of impact.
This ball well struck out to left center field. Carrying well back toward the warning track and caught. Basket style catch by Pham just in front of the warning track. The inning is done. Rangers leave a man. So 5 innings in the books. It's 8-2 Rays. Just made that catch a moment ago, and that one nearly crossed him up.
Yeah, it was a little bit ugly. The flags are blowing a little bit. I think off the bat, a lot of folks thought that might have been out of here. The way that it was hit, had that trajectory. It sounded like it was squared up. I think even Tommy Pham might have overran it a little bit and then had to scramble to get back. He's going. He's looking for the fence. He's thinking he's going to have to deal with the fence. And then right about here, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, no. Take it any way you can get it. Certainly Ryan Yarbrough is thrilled with that catch.
So Pham, after making that play, leads off the 6th inning. He's homered and singled today. Good day at the plate. And this one on the ground down to first. Nice backhand pick down there. Condor takes it to the bag to retire Pham. One away.
Nice play here by Ronald Guzman. We've talked a lot about his defense at first base. First of all, really good positioning. He was pretty much the only one on the right side of the infield. Ruben Odor is playing a little bit more up the middle. All alone and sit right to him. Nice play.
So Duffy and his first pitch swinging. This one out to center field. And a routine play for Tochi. 2 gone.
That's the thing with the Rays. We talked about it last night. Their rank as far as first pitch swinging. You know, they've been on a really nice run here lately offensively. Showed you leading Major League Baseball in batting average since August 19th, but they've also done it aggressively. And as a pitcher, you have to know that coming in. That is such crucial information to know that you have a team that is second in all of baseball as far as first pitch swing percentage. There it is. 32%, the Braves up to 34%, so tied for second with the Cubs. But obviously as a team it matters, but you need to know individually which hitters are coming out hacking. And that means you're not thinking about getting that easy first pitch strike. You're not going to flip a breaking ball over. You're kind of get me over breaking ball just to try to get a strike. You're going to shoot corners a little bit more. You prefer to have some stuff with movement on it so that when they do swing, they don't square it up.
Cron tripled his last time up. 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He's driven in a run. And Jeffrey Springs getting a little extended look here. At the final out of the 4th inning. Pitched a scoreless 5th. And a strikeout of Cron means that he's put up a goose egg in the 6th as well. So Springs nicely done in relief. An 8-pitch inning. 6th inning on the way, and when we come back, Nomar Mazar will lead things off for the Rangers, down by 6.
See, I'm the realest through the business. Got every single vibe pumping, can you feel it? 1, 2, 3, quattro. Take a seat, sit back.
And Nomar Mazar will lead things off here.
How's that for consistency? 20 home runs in each of his first 3 seasons at the big league level. The batting average has been about the same. The on base has been about the same. All very good.
And he singles out to left field. I say single. He's going to turn, go for 2, and he'll be in there easily.
take a look at the rest of these numbers here for Nomar, what those first 3 seasons have looked like. And really, you know, it's been small increases, but to see the slugging come up the way that it has here in 2018 is certainly a number that you want to see continue to rise. But the consistency is what matters. He had a really nice rookie year in 2016. And those are numbers that are beyond acceptable. Now there's been some talk about Nomar. Does he have another step in him? Is there a potential MVP level Nomar Mazara in that bat? And certainly Anthony Iapoce thinks so. He loves his swing. He loves his approach. But you can't argue with consistency either. That's a pretty good way to start your career.
Beltre takes a strike from Yarborough. Adrian was had a good day today. The double, the home run. No balls and 2 strikes though on Adrian. Big home run that last time up, number 475 in his career. Tied him with Stan Musial and Willie Stargell. And this one out to right center field, and Malik Smith took a looping angle at that one but makes the play. Mazara will move up a base on the fly out to center field, 1 away.
This one died a little bit on Malik Smith. We know he's got some good coverage and the defense has gotten better, but every once in a while you will see a curious route from the sometimes Rays center fielder. He's more of a corner outfielder when you got Kevin Kiermaier on your team. Kiermaier getting the day off today.
So man at third with 1 out, and here's Jurickson Profar. Profar spoils pitch. Last inning, we're talking a little bit about some of the Yankees additions as they get more healthy. Some of the losses for teams like the Cubs as they start to prepare for the postseason. The Rangers without Joey Gallo again today, so he continues to nurse a swollen pinky toe on his right foot. He fouled one off his foot the other day, and it's been bothering him, so it's kept him out of action. We heard the news today that Matt Bush had surgery to repair a partial tear in his UCL in his right elbow, and I'm thinking he will miss at least the first half of next year. So Bush will be down for a little while. Count stays 0-2 on Profar. Austin Bibbins-Dirks also had surgery today. Fixed a little cartilage in his left knee. The expectation is for Bibbins-Dirks that he will be ready by spring training. So the Rangers with a lot of medical news today as well. Profar swings and misses at strike 3, 2 away. Just the other day, we also had the news of the Rangers AAA affiliate shifting just a little bit. The new AAA home for your Rangers will be in Nashville, the Nashville Sounds, and they're playing in a really new ballpark, opened in 2015 and had over 600,000 in attendance this year, but no longer in Round Rock going forward.
Some shuffling going on around the minor leagues at the AAA level. The Colorado Springs, what were they? They weren't the.
They were Milwaukee, I think.
No, but what was their nickname? They weren't
Sky Sox.
Sky Sox. They are no longer. That franchise is now a AAA franchise in San Antonio, and a lot of times fans wonder, like, oh, why aren't the Rangers just, you know, put a team in this city over here? That'd be a great spot. You know, what about a AAA team in Austin or whatever it may be? Well, you can't do that. You can't just take a team and move them to any old city that you want to. There's rules in place for the owners of AAA franchises, and so when the moves happen, you have contracts that expire, then you got to find yourself a home, and you're kind of boxed in a little bit as far as where you can actually go. And this was a really good move for the Rangers to be able to get to Nashville, one that's very manageable, because there were essentially 2 teams that were left that didn't have AAA spots. It was the Nationals, it was the Rangers, and the 2 spots that were open were Nashville and Fresno, California. And boy, that would have been tough, and it is going to be tough for the Nationals next year when their AAA team is all the way on the other side of the country.
Yeah, that was it was a bit of a coup to be able to land in Nashville. A lot of fans wonder too. I've heard some people expressed a concern. They're like, well, why would they give up all those players they had in Round Rock? And it's not, I mean, I understand the confusion. It's not the way it works. Your players go to wherever your affiliate is. So those players are all still in the Rangers system.
Yeah, it's important. They are under the Rangers' control. The Rangers pay them. The AAA franchises, all the minor league franchises, they do not pay the players.
Inside, that's ball 4, and Guzman draws the walk. Rangers have runners on the corners. Yarbrough with that walk, he may well be done. Kevin Cash out there to the mound.
If you're coming out, you don't have to put your glove over your mouth to talk anymore.
Well, it depends. Depends on what you're saying.
That's true, but he didn't look like he was mad.
He is done, however. Kittredge coming on for the Rays, an 8-2 game. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the new Shiner Day Quencher Session Ale. Play the game right there. That young man catching the home run ball by Adrian Beltre, number 475. Meanwhile, Rangers have a couple of base runners. Willie Calhoun pinch hitting, and he lines this one into right field and all the way down into the corner. Mazzara's in. Guzman got a decent start, but they'll stop him at third. The throw to second, not in time. And Calhoun with an RBI double. 8-3 the score.
That's a great job by Willie Calhoun coming off the bench and getting aggressive early in pinch hit situations. You got a new pitcher coming into the game, but your runner's on base. You're in that pinch hit spot, and you think, mentioned this earlier about get me over breaking balls, not in RBI spots, and certainly not against a pinch hitter. And that is exactly what that pitch was from Kittredge. And a nice job by Willie Calhoun to get all over it. We are going to get a challenge at second base here on this call, and not overly optimistic. The ball beat him. It's whether or not the tag got him early, and it certainly looked like it got that right knee before the foot got in.
Well, see if we can get another couple of looks at that, but
you prefer worse looks, maybe ones that weren't as clear.
Unless, actually, yeah, having no good looks at this point would be the advantage.
Make sure we send Chelsea all the ones that look like it's too close to call. It looked like he got the knee, though. I believe he did.
Really taking a look.
He knows right now. He's
when
you look up on the big screen and you realize you probably are out, and there it is. And you're just kind of hoping. What a weird feeling, right, to be standing out there. If you're Willie Calhoun right now and you feel pretty confident that this is going to get turned over. He kind of smiled a little bit when he looked up and saw it. Not that he's happy, but he's like, oh, yeah, darn it. Well, I'm going to have to run back to the dugout here pretty soon. See, that coy smile.
Taking another look.
He's like, oh,
yeah,
man.
Well, you know, those things are by the thinnest of margins, which has got to just drive guys crazy, too.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll see you guys later. Good luck the rest of the season, right? Say your goodbyes to Willie Adames.
Well, our Ford replay challenge.
Fingers crossed.
Oh. And he is out. So it's an RBI single, but an outfield assist for Gomez. And the inning is done. The Rangers do score the run. 8-3 our score, and we move it along to the 7th inning.
7th in here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. CD Pelham on to pitch for the Rangers, and it's been fun to watch him kind of get a little more acclimated to the major league life. When he came up, he was very surprised that he was here at this point in his career. It was a pleasant surprise, of course, but then in talking to him when he got back from that first road trip, just the way that major leaguers travel, the difference in the scenery from the minor leagues to the major leagues made a big impression on CD. He says he's feeling more and more comfortable in the clubhouse and really just trying to kind of stay quiet, stick to himself, and take cues from the guys around him.
Yeah, he's been a really impressive young man, and a little bit of a throwback, I think, in that regard when you talk about rookies that are just there absorbing and kind of staying quiet and watching the examples of the veterans. There are some guys that are a little bit more comfortable, I think, than we've seen in years past, but CD gives you a little bit of more of that wide-eyed rookie that you remember from years ago. And it's a big arm. We talked about him last night. Some potential that he has. For me, it's going to be about the fastball command and then the use of the breaking ball. And you saw a good one there at 83 miles per hour. He struck the lone hitter that he faced out last night with a breaking ball. Those are all good signs.
Two-strike pitch. That one outside in the dirt, and Robinson Chirinos joins him this inning, taking over behind the plate for Perez. So both teams starting catchers have been removed from the contest today. Pham, the third pitcher of the afternoon for the Rangers. And this ball lined on one hop to shortstop, and Andrews can't handle it. Looked like a liner, and then it took one little short hop on him. And so that will be a base hit for Joey Wendle. Of course, that's all he does.
This ball was well struck by Joey Wendle. He is a tough out. We know that. You see he's got a little bit of that kind of right to left spin on the ball as it comes off the left-hander's bat. And yeah, it looked like Elvis had a chance to catch that in the air. I don't think that would have been a trap, but he was unable to come up with it cleanly.
So Gomez up there now and takes a big hack. He's 0 for 3 today in typical Carlos Gomez. Rather lively conversation with himself outside of the batter's box. In good spirits. Seemed like he was really happy to be back. See a lot of familiar faces these last couple of days. Going to the count. I remember a story this offseason. He was having trouble just getting signed. And there was a time where the Rangers had some officials down in the Dominican on a completely different subject matter. And Carlos took a helicopter up to meet with him. I think he tracked down John Daniels. Said, like, look, I want to come back. Up high, 1-2 the count. And it got that way that last offseason for a lot of guys with a little more experience, like Carlos Gomez, where for whatever reason the free agent market was extremely slow. It'll be very interesting to see how that develops this offseason.
I think that trend is real and one that we'll likely see continue. Saw guys fighting to find jobs late.
Take strike 3 called. One away here in the 7th inning.
And then, of course, we saw some guys that took a hit as far as financially. They got their jobs, they got their contracts, but at a value that I think it was much lower than expected. And that's been a trend really the last 2 years. And all of a sudden, JD Martinez is looking like the deal of the century.
Oh.
5-year deal for about $105 million. The conversation, and he denied it, but that we had heard coming out of his camp at the beginning of the offseason was that he was looking for something close to $200 million. He said that was not true, but that was a rumor that was out there. And you know, when you're one of those level players, you also have to have enough teams that are interested and involved. And the issue he ran into, Dodgers trying to get under the luxury tax threshold. The Yankees traded for Stanton, trying to get under the luxury tax threshold. And some of the big spenders were just not spending. The Mets, think about the big markets, the White Sox in Chicago not spending. It seemed like Boston was the only fit. So for the Red Sox, that turned out to be a really good deal. And I think we'll probably continue to see that trend. Unless your name is Manny Machado or Bryce Harper.
Right. In which case they may see quite a bit of money. Although I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Well, you remember when he joked a couple of years ago, somebody said, oh, you would think about being the first $400 million player. And so why are you going to cut me short like that? I'd be pretty shocked if he got $400 million.
I would be too.
I'll be shocked if he gets into the threes, maybe. I don't know. Too much risk.
The whole thing's going to be just how long does anybody want to go, right? I mean, it's the average per season. That's probably not the big deal. It's just the length of these deals anymore that I think are really going to slow down those huge contracts. I think teams are going to be that interested in going that long. Runner goes, 2-1 pitch. That's a strike. Chirinos throw down to second. Whoa, very close. Wendle with his 14th stolen base.
Take a look at jump here first, and it's a pretty good one. Goes on first move. As soon as C.D. Pelham picks up the leg, he goes. He wasn't slow to the plate. He delivered a good pitch. Robinson Chirinos delivered a good throw. This is more about the good jump. And as much as we talk about base stealer stealing off the pitcher, that was a little bit more instinct, and also rolling the dice. Had C.D. Pelham thrown him over there, they would have easily had him, because he went as soon as he lifted up his foot. About first move. Here's the slide. Feet first. You don't see that too often into second base. Feet first, no batting gloves. What year is this? You think anybody will give him a first place vote for Rookie of the Year?
I could see it.
Yeah. Because that's where, I mean, if that happens, I don't think he'll win it. The rookie that loses it is what's going to make such a difference.
Ground ball over to first base. Good job by Pelham to cover. That's a second out of the inning. Man at third base though with 2 away.
You know what I'm saying? Like if someone gives him a first place vote, then who are they taking that away from? Are they taking away from Andujar? Are they taking it away from Ohtani? Maybe Gleyber Torres. He's been impressive.
He's got a shot. Look, I mean, he could still finish on a tear. I mean, he is right now. And he could put up some significant enough numbers to cut into some of that vote. You wonder, his intentional walk is offered to Adames, but you wonder if the 2 Yankees, if just by virtue of being right there with one another, if they may end up splitting some votes, and that could hurt them. I think Ohtani's, my argument would be for Ohtani, regardless.
I agree. I think Ohtani probably is the guy right now. But you can debate the other ones.
Bouncer left side of the infield. Backhand stop Andrews to throw to first. In time, and they got him. With Sucre, the catcher, running, it made that play possible, but what a nice job by Elvis Andrews.
Well, Elvis does it again. He had a hard time with the first line drive to start off this inning, but watch him ranging to his right, and the throw, the jump throw, perfect confident. Great job by Ronald Guzman on the backhand.
They have only 84 games remaining in this ballpark, regular season games. A 3-game series against the Mariners this weekend. There's a look across the way. Texas Live, it's been hopping. The new ballpark, left edge of your screen. Under construction. Tochi takes in.
You think they'll do down the stretch where significant numbers, when it becomes that game, you bring back a player with that number or something that happened over the history of the Rangers, right?
Remember the Twins did that. Did a nice job with that. I thought that was kind of fun.
Braves did it as well.
What number did you wear here?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think my spring training number was 84. I think I should have been out
no,
there
did the
today.
moment pass? Two-strike pitch to Tochi.
I was number 50.
50. Okay.
50. I was more about taking the number that they gave you.
Jake Faria comes on here, his 16th appearance.
And a guy that has been a starter in the past. 11 starts this year. He had 14 last year. This is just his 5th appearance out of the bullpen. I think, they haven't said this, but I think here's an example of a guy who last year had a good year. 16 games, 14 starts, had a nice ERA at 3.43. This year, a little bit more of a struggle as the ERA had gotten up. And so instead of having him stay in the rotation, put him in the bullpen and kind of, I think that's one of the reasons that you look at is why they went to this kind of opener situation, because they weren't getting the starts across the board that they were looking for in their rotation. I think if Faria was pitching like he was a year ago, I think he would still be in the rotation right now, and that'd be one less spot in which the Rays would be using the opener.
Well, there's a walk to Tochi to open the 7th inning. Turns the lineup over. Time though for a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. 8-3 here. And Chu takes a little bit low, ball 1. All right, so the National League playoff scenario right now: Braves, Cubs, Dodgers leading their divisions. Brewers and Cardinals currently in as wild cards, although the Rockies only a game back. Still very much in the mix. Phillies and Diamondbacks, it's a kind of a critical day for them. Not that they would necessarily be mathematically eliminated, but you know, they're already almost theoretically eliminated. And if things don't go perfectly for them today, then you could just about close the book on them. Chu fouls one off. 1-2 the count. Well, Chu today, 1 for 3, had the base hit back in the 3rd inning.
So an interesting outing for Andrew Kittredge, which I was trying to do a little quick research and come up with. I wonder if that's happened very often this year. He went 1/3 of an inning, and he allowed a base hit. And he only faced 1 batter in his outing. It's pretty rare, I would think. That happened too often. You don't actually record an out on your own. The only batter you face gets a base hit and gets thrown out trying to advance, or another runner gets thrown out trying to advance.
Foul ball, stays 2-2. That seems fairly rare.
Not as rare as I thought. That is the 11th time it's happened this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Only one of the 10 pitchers that has done it is allowed a run, which is even more amazing, right? So you figure let up a base hit, a run gets driven. I guess it would be like, well, that's exactly what it had to be. Now, how is it your own run? How is that possible?
Well, that didn't make any sense.
No. And I did. Batters faced 1, innings pitched, an inning and a 1/3, hits allowed 1.
Wait a minute. Inning and a 1/3?
A 1/3, sorry. 0.1 innings pitched. 1 hit, 1 batter faced. What in the world? How is that even possible? You can't go 1/3 of an inning and you only faced 1 hitter. You allow a hit and a run.
Well, yes, you could.
Uh-oh.
There's a strikeout of Chu, 1 away. We're thinking of it as the final out of the inning. Right? What if it was 2nd out of the inning? And so your guy reaches, right?
Yep.
There's an out made, maybe your guy gets a single, there's an out at 2nd.
Gotcha.
And so
yeah, that Willie Calhoun situation, right? They throw the runner out at home,
right?
But Willie's safe, and then
Right.
Willie comes around to score later.
Right.
There it is. All right. You're smart, Dave.
Yeah. Blind squirrel, acorns. 1 out for Odor. He takes a strike. See, that's kind of tough, though. It's real. That's a really tough one to search for.
Put that in your baseball riddles book you've been writing.
Right. Will do. Odor today, 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, Faria jumps ahead of Rugi here, 0-2. Rangers single runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 6th innings. Cut into the lead a little bit. Rays, they're trying to sweep this series, though. Shutouts Monday and Tuesday nights. Don't worry, that was a good play.
You look pretty upset.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good play. You knocked it down.
See, good try. That's what he's saying. It's a good try, good effort.
Yeah, Jerry, he's been a great security guy here forever. He'll let her know. That was fine.
It comes so fast off that wall. A tough angle. I love it. You should turn and fire it in the stands, all angry.
Rudy just gets a piece. Now, this one might take a second.
Oh.
Shufo, yeah, thumbs up.
And then
Can't see straight, but I'm all right.
It falls over. I'm okay.
Only hurts when I breathe.
While you're at it, you might want to rake the batter's boxes. A bit more time. Nice courtesy, of course, from the umpires. They do a nice job. Ben May right there. Giving Shufo a couple of extra seconds to try to gather himself.
I'm Tochi, I'm running. 0-2. Oh, this one back up the middle. And could turn into a double play. It does. And so the inning is done. Correa puts up a goose egg in the 7th. 8th inning on the way. It's 8-3.
Offensive output for the Rays today. First, this double for Bowers over the head of Nomar Mazara. That drove in 2. And then later we saw this double here. It has been a really good day once again for the Tampa Bay Rays as we see Alex Smith scoring on that Matt Duffy double. A couple of RBIs in that situation. It has been all Rays. A couple of big innings. They scored 3 in the 2nd. They scored 4 in the 4th. And they continue to lead this one by a score of 8-3 here in the top of the 8th. And a pitching change for the Rangers. And welcome back, Big Bartolo Colon. It's been a while, Big Sexy, as he takes the mound in the day game Reds for the Rangers. Game number 27. 5.55 ERA, 144 in the 3rd innings for Bartolo. You see the pitch usage down below the repertoire. It really is all about the fastball, though the cutter came along a little bit lately toward the end of the season for Bartolo, but it is pretty much all 2-seam fastballs.
Well, he gets the top of the order. Alex Smith fouls off strike 1. With the 3rd time this year that Colon has been used in relief. We weren't sure if Bartolo was going to make the team when we were at spring training. That was never very clear, though he threw the ball well. And then once the season began, he was with the ball club, not necessarily in the rotation, but eventually did earn that spot as well. And man, I mean, what a big part of this summer he became.
I mean, they didn't activate him until like the 3rd or 4th day, right?
Yeah. We played a couple of games using an extra reliever as a ground ball to second base, and Odor throws out Malik Smith, 1 away.
Well, it's been a great year for Bartolo. Nice surprise to have him on the roster and do as well as he did. There's been some up and down over the last couple of years in his career, and he's helped a lot on the mound, but then also some historic moments for him.
His first offering to Tommy Pham fouled away.
This was a big one, and one that Bartolo had talked about. Now the all-time leader, most wins by a Latin-born pitcher, faced Dennis Martinez. So, everything that Bartolo did also worked out really well for us, because we got to spend some time with Dennis Martinez, which was awesome. We had that rain delay game, and boy, what a great personality. What a fun conversation that was here in the booth.
Yeah, that was one of the real highlights of the summer. It took him a little while to get over that hump to pass Juan Marichal, and that was, I think, item number 1 for Bartolo Colon. That was really the target. He got it done. It was such a big deal. Be the all-time winningest pitcher in the history of players born in the Dominican Republic. This ball hit well out to left field, and that one will end up out of the bullpen. A home run for Pham, his 2nd of the ball game. But once he got past Marichal, then it was like, well, could he catch Dennis Martinez? And that part came along a lot more quickly, it seemed like, and it was just a real nice accent to the season. What a fun year it has been with Bartolo. 9-3 now, Tampa Bay with the lead.
But the other part of that, too, for the Rangers, there's been some ancillary benefits, right? I mean, obviously, Bartolo took a pretty prominent role in the rotation, was providing innings, but then also the influence on the other guys on this team. Not just the pitchers. I mean, all the players really gravitate to him because he is such an interesting guy. He has spent so much time in the big leagues. He has seen a lot, and he was willing to share that information, trying to help guys as much as he possibly could over the course of the year. That certainly is something that is appreciated by the Rangers, the coaching staff, the front office.
I'll be forever indebted to him as well for saving my cell phone from being lost on the airplane.
Really?
Or getting off and he saw me leave it and brought it off for me. As there's a base hit out into right field. Base runner for the Rays.
That's not like you. You almost lost your phone.
Say again?
You said that's not like you.
No, yeah.
What happened? You left your phone
Yeah, on my seat.
in Toronto? What? Oh, on your seat.
No, Toronto. That was a passport.
Oh.
Also left my phone on a bus in New York. I left my wallet and my keys at the airport security in Houston once.
Ooh.
On my way to spring training.
You got those back though, right?
Yeah, several days later in Arizona. That was fun.
I give you a hard time. I left the laptop one time at security. I was in such a rush trying to get through. I was cutting it a little bit close to catch my flight. And I put my laptop last in the bin, and my bags came out. I grabbed them and went. I did get that computer back, though.
How tough was that process?
It wasn't terrible. It was at LAX. And it wasn't bad. A couple days. But then I learned from that moment forward, anything, my bag goes in last. Anything that goes in the bin, I put first. Because I know I'm not going to forget my bag.
Base hit into left field. 3 straight hits, the home run, back-to-back singles by Duffy and Crone. And we'll take a quick moment here to once again check in with the folks over at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
So a couple of base runners with 1 out. Joey Wendle.
Nice if Bartolo could find a way to keep him off the bases.
Wendle?
Yeah. This has been unbelievable watching him.
They might have to stop the game if he could retire Wendle.
4 for 5 last night. 3 for 4 today with a walk. Just 1 for 3 in the first game, but he did have a double in that game.
Pretty crazy. I think at this point you have to figure he's got a real shot. In fact, the likelihood that he'll finish with the highest batting average among rookies in Major League Baseball. Ground ball second. They'll go to second 1, and Andrews returns it for a double play. Holy smokes. 4-6-3, and the inning is over, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Rangers need to fire up the offense. And put on a bit of a display here offensively. The 9 runs on 15 hits, and now the Rangers, on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, they'll send the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Elvis Andrews drove in a run in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Then Mazzara and Beltre. Faria out for another inning of work, and Andrews shoots this one down toward that right field corner, and into that corner goes Gomez to make the play. 1 out.
Right fielder, Mazzara.
So now Nomar 1 for 3 as well. Double in the 6th, scored a run. Faria allowed a leadoff walk in the 7th inning. We got a double play eventually to make it a tidy 7th inning. And Nomar takes a strike. Now the Rays already a winning season, 84-66. It's after 4 straight losing seasons. They had that good run where they were in the postseason. Seemed like every year. It'll be the first winning season under that man, Kevin Cash. But more than likely going to miss the postseason. 1-2 the count.
And not enough time to change divisions.
Nope. And not enough time really to catch Oakland. They've played well enough. It's just that Oakland hasn't let up at all. We saw earlier, we saw some highlights last night where the Yankees win at home over the Red Sox, and a lot of elation on the Yankee side is because they're still fighting off Oakland in that wild card. They want that home game. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. The wild card
currently the Yankees with the advantage over Oakland there. A 2.5 game lead coming into play today. 2-2. That one fouled away. We were talking earlier about some of the National League races and how interesting those have become. And there is a scenario like if the Cubs beat the Brewers and the Brewers get the top wild card spot, and then that West Division, which is a bit of a mess, Dodgers, Rockies, and take the Cardinals. Let's say they finish tied. Well, you could have a pretty weird scenario for the Rockies. And strike 3 called, and Mazzara goes down looking 2 away. We'll get into that in a moment.
Well, it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile, and it's been a good day for Adrian Beltre. This 12th place double early in the game. You see Joey Wendle going for it, in and out of his glove, and then of course Adrian, always the entertainer, having a little bit of fun with the rookie Castillo at first base, and then even Willie Adames, the shortstop. Takes some courage to mess with Adrian Beltre as a visitor, but it's all business when Adrian is in the box. He hit that home run deep to left field. Even though he has some fun, you know, Adrian is a really good example of the right way to play this game. He's goof around and have his fun, but at the same time, he is all business when it comes to getting it done, stepping in the box, and that focus has to matter the most. He understands how to balance it.
It's an art form, and I can't think of a player who has balanced that better than Adrian Beltre. It's hard to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think David Ortiz might have been one.
Yeah. 2-1 the count. Because the problem you run into is if you mess up once, then people will just jump you forever.
That's right.
That guy didn't take it seriously, didn't know what he was doing, whatever. But he has always been on point. 2-1.
And that's good for the game, right? Because we talk about the personalities a lot, maybe where our game can go from a standpoint of pace. And the idea that you can have a guy as great as Adrian Beltre is as a player, but then also knows how to have some fun, bring some excitement, bring some laughs to the game, without sacrificing any of the integrity of the game.
This one scooped down the right field line, foul and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Beltre, who has a double and a home run today. Last game of this series against the Rays. Tomorrow an off day. And then the Mariners in town Friday through Sunday. Final 3 home games of the regular season. Another 2-2. And Beltre hits this one high in the air out to right field. Gomez is there, and the inning is done. And so we go to the 9th this afternoon. The Rays still leading the Rangers 9-3. This high school football, as you know, in full swing. Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football, brings you the most comprehensive coverage of Texas high school football. Join us 8 o'clock, Fox Sports Southwest Plus, or live stream on Fox Sports Go every Friday night. Well, 9th inning, Carlos Gomez leading things off for the Rays. And Bartolo out for another inning of work. Give up a run last inning. And that one finds the corner. It's 1-1.
The other part of this opener situation, we've talked about this before, is that the opener will never have a chance to get a win.
Sinking liner handled out in right field by Mazzara, 1 away.
Right, he's only got a chance to lose, because you're not going to go the 5 qualified innings, and so then it goes into the judgment of the official scorer, usually, depending on what has happened. Unless, that's the other part I guess I don't, and I should probably know this. If there's no score, but there was already a score when he came out. Well,
we got pitching changes. Ready to make a pitching change here as he takes the baseball from Bartolo Colon. Bartolo heads off. Well, Chris Martin, the Arlington native, will be coming on here with 1 out in the 9th inning. Starting in week 4, Fox will be the new network home of Thursday night football. and the schedule is absolutely loaded with one huge matchup after another. Thursday night football coming to Fox. And Chris Martin, the Arlington native. Haven't seen him in a little while. He'd been dealing with an upper respiratory issue on that last road trip, and he will come in here in the ninth.
Yeah, good to see Chris back out on the mound. Game number 42 for him. 32 strikeouts in the 37 and a third innings. You got the fastball, cutter, slider, and that split finger. And the fastball this year has been averaging 95 miles an hour for Chris Martin.
Well, this ball flashed down the left field line, and a fair ball. Bowers will cruise to second base. He has a one-out double.
You mentioned, though, he hadn't pitched in a while. Today is September 19th. The last time we saw Chris Martin was on September 8th, so it's been 11 days. Probably feeling a little bit rusty, but also anxious to get back out there.
He gives up the double, and now we'll contend with Willie Adames. So as you were saying as we were wrapping up the last at bat, you don't like the win-loss situation.
Well, it is what it is. I don't have an opinion about it one way or the other as far as liking it. But the question here's a situation where, we'll see how it goes. It is the the official scorer's judgment. So Ryan Yarbrough went 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs allowed. Kittredge certainly wouldn't be in line for the win. He went a third of an inning and let up a base hit. I think Faria is done. There's some action in the Rays bullpen. If he were to stay in, he'd actually be in there for 3 innings and could get a save. But in that situation, it's not an automatic. You don't have to give him the save. You could actually give him the win. You could still give him the win. Even if he doesn't go back out there, you could give him the win. I guess the question becomes, where the game was. Yarbrough came in the the second inning. The Rays were already leading 3-0, so it was a 3-run game. When Faria came in, he came in the 7th inning. At that point, it was a 7-3 game, or should be 8-3 game. But you know what I mean? Like, these are all the things that the official scorer now has to deal with, and they've always had to deal with them, but now at a whole, just way more than they've ever had to.
For sure. And I can't help but wonder, as an official scorer, if your opinion would be at all colored by the fact that, okay, Yarbrough's basically the quote-unquote starter, right? I mean, he's sort of the primary pitcher, and by baseball rule, a starter has to go 5 innings to even qualify. Just because you didn't technically start the game, but you're being treated as a starter. If you didn't go 5, would that, color the way you look at it as an official scorer and say, well, Yarbrough only went 4?
I'm sure you could get a couple of different opinions on that, those guys.
But I would say more times than not, they give it to the first pitcher who's coming in and pitched any significant number of innings.
But if Faria doesn't come back out,
then he's got a shot at it.
2 no-hit innings.
Bounce to the third, and the throw a little high. Pulled Guzman off the base. Everybody's safe, and we'll see how that one scored. It is an error on Profar.
This ball was hit pretty hard, but Jurickson Profar fields it, bobbles it a little bit, but he's able to collect himself. He still would have been able to get the runner, but the high throw is what cost him. And if it's a high throw and Ronald Guzman can't keep his foot on the bag, it is what we like to call technically a really high throw.
That's a technical term. You and your jargon. Here is Nick Schufo.
I'm still getting excited about Dave Raymond's book of baseball riddles. That is going to be, I can't wait. That actually would be a fun book.
Well, looking for a publisher. Also content. We have the author all lined up.
What, the 7 different ways to get a hit? You can throw that in there, whatever the number is.
Old chestnut.
9 different ways to get to first base.
Bowers at second, Adames at first.
Got to hurry before Jason Stark writes it.
Oh, I would never compete with Jason. He's the best. 0-2 the count on Schufo. Bowers at second, Adames the man at first via the error. Rangers have made 2 errors today. There are the base runners. Outside. Now, I was giving you the National League rundown earlier. if that little scenario played out where the Cardinals, Dodgers, and Rockies all tied at the end of the year. So you have to unravel that West Division.
And you said, and the Brewers also had the same record?
Brewers took the second wild, or rather the first wild card.
Okay.
So we're taking them out of the equation. Cubs won the division, Brewers got the wild card, and now we have a little medical visit here. Let's say look at Martin. Kevin Harmon out there, Banny heading out there as well. Hopefully this is nothing big.
Is it mound related? Or is it
almost
something else? Take a look here. You saw him rotate. You saw that foot. That's the left foot that he kind of picked up. Watch it here on the follow through. You see him kind of shake it out a little bit. So it was the push off foot. He's going to stay in.
No mound visit charged. Okay. So Cubs win the division. Brewers get the first wild card. Rockies and Dodgers tied atop the West, and the Cardinals with the same record. So you have to sort out the final wild card and that West division. You have a scenario there where the Rockies, they finished with 10 road games in the regular season. So then they would have to play game 163 against the Dodgers for the pennant on October 1st. And that would be in LA. So you go, that's 11 days on the road.
That was scheduled 10 days down the road to finish the season. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Now, if they lose that one, then they would have to go to St. Louis to play for the wild card. And if they win that,
go to Milwaukee.
Then they go to Milwaukee to play the wild card game. And if they won that, then they would go to Chicago for game 1 of the National League Division Series.
Plus side, it's only a little bit of a drive from Milwaukee to Chicago.
That's a fair point. 6-4-3 double play ends the inning. Well, Martin bounces right back and gets a double play to give the Rangers now a shot in the bottom of the 9th, down by 6.
They need some major 9th inning magic to make that happen. Down 9-3 with just 3 outs to go. Dana Larson, Tom Grieve here with you. We'll have Rangers Live coming up in just a bit. Big mountain to climb, Tom, but there are some storylines we're going to hit on in the postgame show.
Well, we have to talk about Adrian Beltre, who continues to move up the all-time home run list.
That will certainly be high on our topics, and we'll look at the Rays. We'll look at the final home series coming up here over the weekend. Lots to do. We hope you will join us. For now, though, we get it across the way to Dave and CJ, guys.
All right, thanks, Dana. And they won't have to do any fact-checking on my last little scenario, because fortunately, our producer, Mike Tressman, caught the error as we get things started here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies don't end on the road, they end at home. And
they're on the road now playing 10 games.
Yeah.
So that's where the confusion was, understandably so.
But they will play, anyway, the point is they could play 5 games in 5 different cities in 5 days. All right, Vidal Nuno is the new pitcher in this 9th inning. A new left fielder as well as Andrew Velasquez comes in here. Pham out of the game. Profar off the plate, 1-2 the count. So we take a look at Nuno's season.
Game number 14, very good year for him so far. 26 strikeouts in his 30 innings. Very nice 1.50 ERA, and that 207 batting average against also very good.
And he strikes out so far to begin the 9th.
Let's get to our Southwest Airlines player breakdown. We'll take you through Elvis Andrus and this base hit that he had that drove in a run. See Carlos Tochi coming across, and defensively for Elvis getting it done. This was a tough play, slow roller as Profar was diving for that ball. Good concentration, made a really good throw as well. Tell you what, this is the day to be up here in front of us, section 223. Foul balls aplenty, and like nobody really up here to take them from you. Trying to pick your spots, it's kind of tough to do. And think, oh, where do I want to sit for foul balls? It's been a hotbed up here, literally.
Swing and a miss. And boy, that was a quick strikeout of Ronald Guzman, 2 away in the 9th. And so the Rangers down to their final out. Here comes Robinson Chirinos.
All right, so who, if it ends here, who's getting the win? You think it's going to be Yarbrough, or you think it's going to be Faria.
Yeah, I think it'll be Yarborough. But I think you make a good argument for Faria.
I wasn't arguing. I just asked you a question.
Very angry about it, but ground ball slowly hit to third base, and that will do it. Rangers go very quietly in the ninth. No save for Nuno. 9-3 the final score today. The Rays sweep this 3-game series, and don't look now, with the Tampa Bay Rays, maybe the hottest team in baseball. They are now 14-3 in their last 17 games. All right, Dana Larson and Tom Grieve have promised you a lot to break down in this post-game show. They'll have all the player reaction and analysis as well. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Stay with us. More coverage of Rangers baseball right after this.